The human prisoner. The guards threw Marcus onto the cold marble floor. His chains made a loud noise that echoed through the massive throne room. Blood dripped from a cut on his forehead. His soldier uniform was torn and dirty. 300 alien nobles stood on both sides of the room. They looked at Marcus like he was an insect. Some laughed, some whispered cruel words. Their silver skin glowed under the purple lights of the palace. Marcus slowly lifted his head. His body was in pain, but his eyes showed no fear. He had fought in many battles. He had seen death many times. He was not afraid to die. At the end of the room sat the Valari Queen on a throne made of pure gold. Queen Vera, the most powerful ruler in the galaxy. Her silver skin was flawless. Her purple eyes were cold as ice. A golden crown rested on her head. She looked at Marcus the way someone looks at dirt on their shoe. "So," her voice was calm but deadly, "this is the species that thinks it can fight the Valari Empire?" The nobles laughed. One of them shouted, "He is nothing! Humans are weak!" Another yelled, "Kill him slowly! Make him suffer!" Marcus said nothing. He just stared at the queen. This made her curious. Most prisoners begged for mercy. Most prisoners cried. But this human, he was different. Queen Vera raised one hand. The room became silent immediately. "Human," she said, "do you know why you are here?" Marcus spoke for the first time. His voice was rough but steady. "Because your soldiers couldn't beat me in a fair fight. They needed 20 soldiers to capture one human." Gasps filled the room. Nobody spoke to the queen like that. Nobody. One of the guards hit Marcus hard on the back. He fell forward but did not cry out. He simply pushed himself back up to his knees. The queen's eyes narrowed. "You have courage, stupid courage, but courage. Your people killed thousands of my soldiers. Your ships destroyed 3 of our colonies." "Your ships attacked us first," Marcus replied calmly. "We were only defending ourselves." "Lies!" a general shouted from the crowd. "Humans are monsters. They attacked without warning." Marcus looked at the general. "If that helps you sleep at night, believe it." The queen stood up. Her long silver gown flowed behind her as she walked down the steps. She stopped right in front of Marcus. She was tall, much taller than him. She looked down at him with disgust. "Tomorrow at sunrise, this human will be executed in the public square. Let all of the galaxy see what happens to those who stand against the Valari Empire." The crowd cheered. They clapped and shouted with joy. Some threw things at Marcus. He did not react. He simply closed his eyes and accepted his fate. The queen turned to walk back to her throne. But then, a small voice cut through the noise like a knife. "Stop!" Everyone froze. The cheering died instantly. The queen stopped walking. Her body became stiff. Marcus opened his eyes and looked toward the voice. At the top of a grand staircase stood a little girl. She was no older than 6 years old. She wore a beautiful royal dress covered in jewels. A small silver crown sat on her head. The princess, the queen's only daughter, and she was staring directly at Marcus. Tears rolled down her small cheeks. Her tiny hands were shaking. "Don't hurt him," she whispered, but in the silent room, everyone heard her. The queen's face turned pale. "Liari, go back to your room, now!" But the little girl did not move. Instead, she started running. She ran down the stairs. She ran past the shocked guards. She ran past the confused nobles. And before anyone could stop her, she threw her small arms around the human prisoner. She hugged him tightly and cried. "I know him, Mother," she sobbed. "He saved my life." The queen could not breathe. The nobles could not speak. The entire palace stood frozen. And Marcus closed his eyes and whispered, "I told you we would meet again, little star." The secret no one knew. The queen's heart stopped beating for a moment. Her daughter, the princess of the greatest empire in the galaxy, was hugging a human prisoner, a dirty, bleeding, enemy human. "Layari!" The queen's voice trembled. "Step away from him, now!" But the little girl held Marcus tighter. Her small body shook with sobs. "No, Mama, you don't understand. He is not bad. He is good. He saved me." Whispers exploded through the throne room. Nobles looked at each other with wide eyes. Guards gripped their weapons, confused about what to do. The queen walked toward her daughter slowly. Her legs felt weak. Her mind was spinning with 1,000 questions. "What are you talking about, child?" she asked softly. "You have never met a human before. This is impossible." Layari finally let go of Marcus. She turned to face her mother. Her little face was red from crying, but her eyes were serious, more serious than any 6-year-old's eyes should be. "3 months ago, Mama, when my ship crashed, when everyone thought I was dead for 2 weeks, he found me. He saved me." The queen felt like someone had punched her in the chest. 3 months ago, the worst 2 weeks of her life. Her daughter's royal transport had disappeared during a journey. Search teams found nothing. The queen had not slept for 14 days. She had cried every night, believing her only child was dead. Then, a miracle. A patrol team found Layari on a small, empty planet. She was alive, weak, but alive. When asked what happened, Layari had said she hid in a cave and survived alone. But that was a lie. The queen knelt down in front of her daughter. Her voice was barely a whisper. "Layari, tell me everything, right now." The little girl wiped her tears. She took a deep breath, and then she told the truth. "Our ship was attacked, Mama, not by humans, by the Zorath pirates. They killed all the guards. I was scared. I ran into an escape pod. It crashed on a strange planet." The nobles listened in complete silence. Even the guards forgot to breathe. "I was hurt," Layari continued. "My leg was bleeding. I could not walk properly. I hid in a cave for 2 days. I had no food, no water. I thought I was going to die." The queen's eyes filled with tears. She had never known this. Her baby had suffered so much. "On the 3rd day," Layari said, "I heard footsteps. I was so scared. I thought the pirates found me, but it was not a pirate." She looked at Marcus. It was him. Marcus kept his eyes on the floor. His chains felt heavier now, not because of the metal, but because of the memories. He was also stuck on that planet. His ship had crashed too. He was hurt. He had very little food. But when he saw me, he did not see an enemy. Her voice became soft. He saw a scared little girl. The queen looked at Marcus. For the first time, she did not see a human. She saw something else, something she could not understand. "He gave me his food. He cleaned my wounds. He carried me on his back when I could not walk. He kept me warm at night. He told me stories to make me laugh." Tears rolled down the queen's silver cheeks. "For 2 weeks he protected me, Mama, from wild animals, from dangerous storms, from everything. He could have left me. He could have let me die. I was his enemy, but he did not." Layari's voice broke. "He called me his little star." The throne room was completely silent. Many nobles were crying quietly. Even some guards wiped their eyes. The queen stood slowly. She turned to look at Marcus. Her voice was shaking. "Is this true, human?" Marcus finally raised his head. His eyes met the queen's. There was no anger in them, no hatred, only sadness. She was just a child, a scared, hungry, wounded child. What kind of monster would I be if I had not helped her?
The memory scan. The queen's mind was at war with itself. Her heart wanted to believe her daughter, but her brain screamed that this was impossible. A human showing kindness to a Valari? It went against everything she knew. She turned to her royal advisor, an old Valari with gray skin and tired eyes. "Bring the memory reader," she commanded. Gasps filled the room. The memory reader was an ancient machine, sacred, forbidden. It could pull memories directly from someone's mind and display them for all to see. It showed only truth. No lies could hide from it. "My queen," the advisor hesitated. "Using it on the princess, it has risks. The process can be painful." "I need the truth," the queen replied firmly. "Prepare the machine." 4 servants carried in a large crystal chair. Strange symbols glowed on its surface. Wires made of pure light floated around it like snakes. Little Liari looked at the chair with fear, but then she looked at Marcus, still on his knees in chains. She remembered his words from long ago. "When you are scared, be brave for just one more second." She took a deep breath and sat in the chair. The machine hummed. The lights in the throne room dimmed. A massive floating screen appeared above the chair, visible to everyone in the room. Then the memories began to play. The screen showed Liari's ship exploding, guards dying, little Liari screaming as her escape pod crashed on an unknown planet. The nobles watched in horror. Many covered their mouths. The queen gripped her throne so hard her knuckles turned white. The memory continued. Liari, wounded and alone, hiding in a dark cave, crying, starving, calling for her mother. The queen's tears fell freely now. Then, footsteps in the memory. A shadow at the cave entrance. Little Liari screamed in fear, but the shadow knelt slowly. A human face appeared, dirty, tired, but gentle. "Hey there, little one. I am not going to hurt you, I promise." The entire throne room watched this human, this so-called enemy, carefully lifted the wounded princess. They watched him share his last piece of food with her. They watched him tear his own shirt to bandage her leg. Days passed in the memories. Marcus carrying Liari through dangerous forests. Marcus fighting a wild beast with his bare hands to protect her. Marcus staying awake all night to guard her while she slept. Nobles who had shouted for his death were now crying silently. But then the memory showed something unexpected. It was night. Liari and Marcus sat near a small fire. She was playing with something in her hands, a small pendant on a chain. "What is this?" little Liari asked in the memory. Marcus's face became sad, so very sad. "It belonged to my daughter," he said quietly. Liari looked confused. "You have a daughter?" Marcus' head shook slowly. "I had a daughter. She died 2 years ago, in the war." The screen showed little Liari's small hand touching Marcus's cheek. "What happened to her?" she asked innocently. Marcus closed his eyes. A tear rolled down his face. "A Valari bomb hit our colony. My wife, my little girl, they were gone in 1 second." The throne room became completely silent. The queen stopped breathing. This human had lost his child to a Valari attack. He had every reason to hate, every reason to want revenge, every reason to let a Valari child die. But instead, the memory continued. Little Liari was crying. "I am sorry. I am so sorry." Marcus pulled her into a hug. "It was not your fault, little star. You are just a child. Hate does not belong in a child's heart. And if I can love you, maybe there is hope for both our peoples." The screen went dark. Nobody moved. Nobody spoke. The queen rose from her throne. Her voice was shaking, but clear. "Unchain him, now." The guards hesitated. "I said now." But before anyone could move,
A cold voice cut through the silence. "I am afraid I cannot allow that, my queen." General Vorak stepped forward, his weapon raised and pointing directly at Marcus. "This human knows far too much, and some secrets must stay buried forever."
The conspiracy. General Vorak's weapon hummed with deadly energy. His eyes were cold and empty. Behind him, 50 of his personal soldiers marched into the throne room. Their weapons were raised and ready. The Queen's guards immediately drew their blades, but they were outnumbered, badly outnumbered. "Vorak!" The Queen's voice was filled with rage. "What is the meaning of this treason?" The general smiled. It was not a friendly smile. It was the smile of a predator who had finally caught his prey. "Treason?" He laughed softly. "No, my queen. I am saving the empire. You are the one about to destroy it." He walked slowly toward Marcus, his weapon still aimed at the human's head. "This human," Vorak continued, "is dangerous, not because he is a soldier, not because he killed our people. He is dangerous because of what he represents." The Queen stepped forward. "And what is that?" Vorak stopped. He turned to face the crowd of nobles. "Hope." He spat the word like poison. "This filthy human has given people hope. Hope the humans and Valari can coexist. Hope that this war can end. And that is something I cannot allow." Confusion spread through the throne room. Nobles looked at each other with questions in their eyes. "The war must continue. It must never end." The Queen shook her head. "You are insane. War has cost us millions of lives. Why would anyone want it to continue?" Vorak laughed again, this time louder, colder. "Because war is profitable, my queen. Weapons must be built, ships must be manufactured, resources must be controlled. And who controls all of that?" He spread his arms wide. "The Shadow Council." Whispers erupted through the room. The Shadow Council? It was a rumor, a legend, a secret group of powerful nobles who supposedly controlled everything from behind the curtains. But it was not a legend. It was real. For centuries, we have controlled this empire. We have started wars. We have ended them. We have made kings and queens rise and fall. Your husband, the late king, did you really think his death was an accident? The Queen's face turned pale. Her husband died 5 years ago in a ship explosion. It was ruled an accident, but it was murder. You killed him?" The Queen's voice broke. "He wanted peace," Vorak shrugged. "Peace is bad for business, just like this human is bad for business. Once people see that humans can show love and kindness, they will start questioning the war. They will demand peace, and our empire of profit will crumble." He aimed his weapon at Marcus again. "So this human must die. You will be imprisoned, and we will tell the galaxy that human assassins attacked the palace. The war will grow bigger, and we will grow richer." Little Liari ran to Marcus and stood in front of him, her small arms stretched wide, trying to protect him. "No!" she screamed. "I will not let you hurt him!" Vorak looked at the child with disgust. "Move aside, little princess. Do not make me hurt you, too." "Liari," Marcus whispered, "get behind me, now." "No!" Tears streamed down her face. "I will not leave you." Vorak sighed. "Very well. Kill them both." His soldiers raised their weapons. But Marcus had been watching, waiting, thinking. In the corner of his eye, he had seen Commander Sela, the Queen's most loyal captain, quietly positioning her soldiers near the side doors. She had given him a small nod minutes ago. Marcus understood. He took a deep breath. Then he shouted at the top of his lungs, "Now!"
The side doors exploded open. Commander Sayla's soldiers poured in, weapons blazing. Chaos erupted everywhere. Nobles screamed and ran. Blasts of energy flew across the room. Little Liari grabbed Marcus and covered him with her body. He had no weapon, no armor, only his flesh and bone. A soldier aimed at the princess. Marcus saw the blast coming. He threw himself in front of it. The energy hit his back. Pain exploded through his body like fire. He fell to the ground, blood pooling beneath him. But Liari was safe. The little girl screamed, "Marcus, no! Wake up! Please, wake up!" Her cries echoed through the burning throne room. But Marcus did not move.
A new dawn. The battle was over. General Vorak lay on the ground in chains. His soldiers had surrendered. The Shadow Council's evil plan had failed. But none of that mattered to little Liari. She sat on the cold floor, holding Marcus's hand. His blood had formed a dark pool around him. His breathing was slow and weak. His eyes were barely open. "Please," she sobbed, "please do not leave me. You promised you would always be my brave warrior." Marcus tried to smile, but even that small movement caused him pain. "Some promises," he whispered, "are hard to keep, little star." The queen rushed to them and knelt beside Marcus. She looked at the royal healer with desperate eyes. "Save him," she commanded. "Use everything we have. I do not care about the cost." The healer's face was full of sorrow. He shook his head slowly. "My queen, I am truly sorry. Our medicine does not work on humans. Their biology is completely different from ours. He has only minutes left." The queen's heart shattered. This man had saved her daughter twice. He had lost his own family to Valari bombs, yet he had shown love instead of hate. And now he was dying because he protected her child again. "There must be something," the queen whispered. "Anything." Silence filled the room. Then a very old voice spoke from the crowd. "There is one way." Everyone turned. An ancient Valari priest walked forward. His skin was dark gray. His eyes were cloudy with age. He had lived for over 500 years. "The Rite of Souls," he said quietly, "an ancient ritual from the old times. It can heal any living creature regardless of species." Hope sparked in the queen's eyes. "Then do it now!" The priest raised his hand. "It is not that simple, my queen. The ritual requires a price. A piece of the healer's own life force must be given to the dying. You will lose years of your own life, perhaps decades. And the pain is beyond imagination." The nobles gasped. Giving Valari life force to a human was unthinkable. It had never been done in history. The queen looked at Marcus, then at her daughter. Liari's eyes were red and swollen. Her small body trembled with each sob. "Mama," Liari whipped up at her mother, "please, I cannot lose him. He is my family too." The queen closed her eyes. She remembered the memory scan. She remembered Marcus's words, "If I can love you, maybe there is hope for both our peoples." This human had taught her something that centuries of wisdom had not. Love was stronger than hate. Kindness was more powerful than war. She opened her eyes. Her decision was made. "Begin the ritual." The priest nodded. He drew ancient symbols on the floor with light. He placed Marcus in the center. Then he guided the queen to kneel beside him. "Take his hand and do not let go, no matter how much it hurts." The queen held Marcus's cold hand. The priest began chanting in an ancient language. The symbols on the floor started glowing bright gold.
Then the pain came. It felt like fire burning through her veins. It felt like her soul was being torn apart. The queen screamed. Tears poured down her face. Every part of her body begged her to stop. But she did not let go. Golden light flowed from her body into Marcus. His wounds began closing. Color returned to his pale face. His breathing grew stronger. Finally, the ritual ended. The queen collapsed on the floor, exhausted and weak, but alive. And Marcus opened his eyes. Liari screamed with joy. She threw herself onto him, hugging him tightly. "You came back! You came back!" Marcus smiled weakly. He looked at the queen, who was being helped up by her guards. Their eyes met. "Thank you," he whispered. The queen nodded slowly. For the first time in years, she smiled genuinely. "No," she replied softly. "Thank you for showing me that enemies can become family." She turned to face her people. Her voice echoed through the broken throne room. "Send a message to Earth. Tell them the war is over. Tell them that today we choose peace."